the snippet tool, which is Windows key, Shift and S, and now I can. Hi everyone, I hope you're well. So the next part that we're going to do is putting in speech and think bubbles. So speech and think bubbles. Just first want to show you the difference in cartoons. So I used to read the cartoons in a local newspaper that we always had, and I could never understand the difference between these. You might have learned about this in English or in Afrikaans or German, so you might know what I'm going to say now. But basically, there's something called a thought bubble and something called a speech bubble. Now, there's a cartoon called Garfield. I'm not sure if you have heard about that, but this is the cartoon that was in our newspaper. Speech bubble. So you can see every time Jim says something, then it's in this type of bubble in here. Then when Garfield says something, then it's in this bubble over here. Now I thought it's just saying that this is what he's saying and this is what Jim is saying, so it's the two different types of characters having their speech bubbles there. But what frustrated me was when he said something, he could never respond with the correct response. And I could never understand why that was. And that's because this is called a think bubble. So you get a speech bubble and you get a think. I'm not sure if that's the exact, maybe a thoughts one, thoughts bubble. I think I just speech bubble and a thought bubble. So this one is they are thinking things, and since animals can't talk, then that's why this illustrator is using the think bubble. And when humans speak, because we can speak, we get speech bubbles. So in Scratch we have the same thing. This is a think, so if you see a little cloud, that is thinking. You can see this guy is thinking. And when someone is talking, then, so this guy is thinking something while this person is saying something. Okay, so that was just like a quick difference between the two. So in activity 1, you can make your sprite speak. Speech commands are in the section looks. Add the block say, type your message in the first box, type how many seconds you want the message to appear on the screen. At the start of the program, make your sprite say, I am ready, let's go. Okay, so they have this one over here, but let's try and figure it out. So, first thing that we need to do is we need to go to when clicked. So, something is going to happen when I click on this. So, when this green flag is clicked, then they say we have to go to the looks. So, over here you'll see looks. And we need to say hello. What is it that we need to say? We need to say, I am ready, let's go. Okay, so you click in there. I'm ready, let's go. I think it's let's go, let us go. And then they say we need to put it. They didn't say anything. So he's going to say that first. Let's first just see what happens when you say that. I'm ready, let's go, and then for 2 seconds, and then it disappears. And now after that, we can make him move 10 steps. I'm ready, let's go. And then it moved 10 steps. And that's exactly what we had to do. Then they just say add messages in one of your programs. So what I want you to do for this activity, I'm going to guide you guys step by step to upload a PDF, because I have seen you guys struggle a little bit with that. But this would be for the challenge, activity 1, challenge and activity 1. I'm just going to make all those bolded and underlined. And I'm just going to take a screenshot of this. So I press print screen on my keyboard. You can also press, if your print screen does not work, you can type in snipping tool. And you'll see that I've opened this. And they say, you can use the shortcut, which is the window logo key, Shift and S. So I just want to, there we go. So I just want to show you, so on your keyboard, between the Control and the Alt button. I know this keyboard is not ideal, but between those two buttons there's a Windows key, so you'll see a special icon on there. Now if you press that and Shift and S, you would be able to use the shortcut. If you don't want to use the shortcut, you can just every time type in snipping tool, and then you can just say new, and now we can just say I want to snip that, and then it takes that for you, and you say copy, and you can paste it in there. So you don't even have to crop it afterwards. So either go into the application, or you can say Windows Shift S, and now I can just choose whichever section I would like of the screen. It's copied, and now I can just paste it in there. Or you can just take a normal screenshot. There's a screenshot, and then you just make sure that you crop out everything that is necessary for me to mark. So you're just going to put in that, because we just had to follow the first few steps. But now what they say is add messages in one of your programs. So maybe at the end of, let me see, just open the right. Okay, this is a video about studying. Oh, here. Okay, so speech commands are in section looks, add messages to one of your programs. So what I wanted to say was, at the end of, let's say, this activity, this scenario over here, I know you guys had to help Alexis and Amira go and reach the end of that little maze that they gave you. So then you can just say a speech bubble when they reach that. So when they reach it, you can just say we made it, or before they start. So when clicked, you can just add in this I'm ready, let's go for 2 seconds, and then you're going to do the same thing in here, where you just paste in whatever code part you have. So I don't want to see all of that. So I just want to see the code part. So again, I have learned now to use the snippet tool, which is Windows key, Shift and S, and now I can select anything. If I just wanted to screenshot that little part, it's in my clipboard, and now you can see it's right there. So it's really nice, and it stays in the clipboard, so you can paste it as many times as you want. And yeah, okay, so that was for a speech bubble. So let's go to the next part. There is a think option. Put a think command into a program. What is the difference between think and say? So there is the think option. So let's say this was my screenshot for my one that I put in the activity. So for activity 2, just gonna bold and underline, and we're just gonna add it into this one. Now instead of saying say, if you go to looks, there's a say and there's a think. So let's put in the think in here, and let's add to maybe the wrong way, and then that's going to be for 2 seconds. And now I'm just going to put in a 180-degree turn, and then he can move 50 steps, or let's make it 200 steps. So he actually wants to leave the room. So first you get the speech bubble, then he moves, maybe the wrong way, and now he thinks, and then he moves. So that's what we wanted to do. You don't have to add in all of these things. That was just to make the scenario make sense. And yeah, so that's all you have to do. And then you take a screenshot and you put it in there. Okay, I'm gonna use the snippet tool, so I don't have to crop afterwards as well. So that's perfect. Just paste it in there. Everything's nice and big. If it needs to be bigger, you can just drag it a bit bigger. And that's all we had to do there. Oh, also we need to, so since there's a question, we also need to answer it. What is the difference between think and say? Thinking in real life happens with one's mind. It's happens within. Okay, so thinking in real life happens within one's mind of the outside world. So it's a, yeah, I hope that makes sense. You don't have to write it like that. That's just how I'm going to answer it. And then speaking in real life happens when one communicates so the outside world hears, sees, or experiences the thoughts of a person. Yeah, so I'm just saying speaking is when the thinking gets communicated to the outside world, and thinking happens within one's mind about the outside world. It doesn't actually have to be about the outside world, one's mind. So maybe we can just say that. So, but the question is actually referring to Scratch. The big difference between speak and think bubbles are that the thinking bubbles look like clouds and the speak bubbles look like balloons. Not the same as the thinking bubbles. Okay. So that was just to add in some speech. You can play around with this, like with what you guys know now. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can make this guy have his own story. You can also have another person have it, so you can put in another sprite. We can duplicate it, and maybe we can say, I just want a direction. I'm just gonna make 90. So this guy can ask by, so it's going to take 2 seconds and then 2 seconds, and then we can maybe say by 4 or 5 seconds for this one. We can say when clicked. Just want to see, okay, they're both going to say that. But yeah, you can play around. Like you'll see that if you want to do something specific on Scratch for now, it's so easy to find Scratch tutorials. You can make a jumping game, you can make a story, you can, whatever interests you. It's I can tell you guys that the best way to understand something is by playing with it. So if you have free time, don't feel bad about using Scratch to practice, because you guys are also going to one day have to know how to program. I'm really sure that in the future everyone would have a basic understanding of what coding is. Or programming as they call it. And yeah, so good luck with that and enjoy. You guys will have a final project, Clip Clop the Horse. So I will give you guys this file, and what you want to do is you want to follow all of these instructions. I'm not going to help you with this unless everybody has submitted. I want you guys to figure it out, play with it, get it right, and just upload your final thing. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to say file, and then I'm going to say save to my computer, and this is going to be called Two Cats and Two Bubbles. Okay, so you can call yours whatever you want. So I'm just saving it to my desktop. I say save, and now you'll see that I have this here. And what you want to do, so I'm just gonna open, and let's say I wanted to create a new assignment. Let's say I want to upload this, then you just go to the upload. So you'll have the assignment to do this on. You just go to the file where you saved it, and you just say open. And as soon as you upload that, you'll see that I would be able to open this. So I'm just going to show you. So I'm going to say open link, a new tab. Then I'm going to download. And as soon as it downloads, I can open it. And then all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if your Scratch program is working. So I can, so usually I would test it like this. So I make it big screen and then I just test it. I am ready, let's go. Okay. So that's how I'm going to test it. So when you are done with, let me just also upload this activity. Sorry, just let me get that. Programming. Okay, so when you have finished this clip clop, you just get the exact name before I mess anything up. The final project. So this will be your final project for starting with programming. I would like us to finish with this so that by the next term we can just do some Excel and some PowerPoint, and then we would be done with most of the work. And if you guys are finished by then maybe we can go to the next part of the programming, which is really fun. So we're going to get more, we're going to learn about more things, and then we're also going to, what do you call it, we're going to advance, we're going to level up on the difficulty on the programming. So for now this was just the basics, and you know a little bit more about programming. Even though we haven't programmed anything yet, just this is already giving you a head start in terms of programming. So yeah. Okay guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Please submit this before the end of the term. I won't let you guys do this while you guys are writing tests, but just see how fast you can do this, and if everyone has handed it in, then we can go on with the next work and we can see how far we get. Awesome. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.